Let's bring in right now Pasadena Fire Chief Chad Augustine. Chief, thank you so much for being with us during just these absolutely horrific times. I will tell you, for those of us who aren't out there, it looks apocalyptic. And my friends in the area say, well, if you're here, it looks even worse. Can you begin, just first of all, for those on the East Coast and middle of America, can you begin by telling them just the scale and scope of this tragedy?
Yeah, apocalyptic, and good morning to you. Thank you for having me. Apocalyptic is the exact word that I've been using, especially that first night where, we had ember casts making spot fires 2+ miles ahead of a fire, and 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and trees coming down. It was just something I've never seen in my life, and the amount of devastation is incredible. I'd also like to highlight the really heroic efforts, the hundreds of lives saved on the Eaton fire by police and fire that in those first hours as they were evacuating residents who really didn't get notice as that fire spread so rapidly.
Well, we are so grateful for the work of the fire department, police, first responders all across Southern California, and coming in from other states and other countries helping out too. It seems to me, Chief, you're a great person to talk to on this next question because, there's a lot of debate. Politicians on both sides are going to love to come in and, unfortunately, start politicizing the problems here. And I've had a lot of people asking me just about, hey, what's happening? Why don't they have enough water? But I'm wondering. And obviously, there will be politicians to blame, not only that are serving now, but have served over the last 30 years. I am wondering, though, what can you do? What can fire departments do when you're dealing with wildfires from wild areas and winds going up to 100 miles an hour? I just can't imagine that the system that you have and we all have across America is prepared to fight that type of battle.
You're right. Our resources are adequate most days for the normal 911 emergencies and the occasional structure fires and brush fires. An event like what we're seeing here, both on the Palisades and the Eaton fire, 2 major fires in LA County, is a major drawdown. None of us have enough resources, which is why you're seeing thousands of firefighters coming in from all over the Western United States to help us.
So, Chief, can you walk us through how to prepare for a day like today when the winds are forecasted to really pick up? We know that's a danger. We know that adds to the unpredictability of these blazes. How does a department like yours try to get ready for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so we talk a lot about preparedness here in Southern California, both on the wildfire side, the earthquake side, and it's all the tips that we've talked about for our residents about being prepared. And then on the fire line, right, we have over 3,400 firefighters attacking this fire. Last night, the wind started kicking up. The fire lines held, and the crews did an amazing job keeping those fire lines intact. We will continue to deploy firefighters today. Over the next 36 plus hours, maybe even 48 hours, those winds are going to continue to increase and be erratic. But we have a lot of resources here in order to protect our community.
Chief, yesterday there was a press release about drinking water in Pasadena area. Could you tell me what is the situation with drinking water? Is there water access? Have lines been harmed? And how long will it take to get water, safe water, up and running again?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so I think it's important to give context that the Eaton fire crosses multiple cities and jurisdictions. Pasadena being a full service city, we have our own water and power department. And so Pasadena Water has been testing the water in the impacted areas. We believe that over 90% of the people that were on a do not drink tap water order in those impacted areas is if the tests return back favorable today, we'll be able to start drinking tap water, which is really good. Again, there's multiple water jurisdictions across the Eden Fire impacted area. So I would encourage residents to really defer to their jurisdiction. But on the Pasadena side, our recovery on the water side is coming rapidly.
Chief, we want to end by just saying we're so grateful for the work that you're doing. So many first responders are doing. Let me just ask you before you go, because millions of Americans are watching the battle you're fighting, and that your brothers and sisters on the front lines are fighting, and they want to know how they can help. What do you say to Americans? What do you need right now?
Yeah. If you allow me to, for most of my career, we've talked about assisting other agencies in their time of need up and down the state, but never did I think that it would actually be my community needing assistance. And this is personal. Many of my city employees have lost homes, have loved ones that have lost homes, yet they're still here in service to our community. So first and foremost, if you're asking what we need, lots of thoughts and prayers. We also need rain. If you can say some prayers for rain. And then go to your standard areas for donation, Red Cross, United Way, areas that you know are vetted and appropriate. But we have a lot of local resources coming in right now to help us with donations on those impacted families. But that's my current recommendations.
All right, Pasadena Fire Chief Chad Augustine, know that you're in my family's prayers and so many Americans' prayers, and we're keeping in our thoughts for not only you, but also your friends and loved ones who have lost homes, as well as those on the force, those on the front lines that don't even have a home to go to tonight after they finish saving other people's homes. Thank you, and God bless you. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you very much.